So these are my 5 minutes, or probably it's going to be more like half an hour of Mafia City. Everything I've learned about it and the way I play it. I hope you find this valuable. I'm not really the biggest fighter, as in I don't on every KE or whenever I don't just go out and try to kill as many as possible. But I do have good stats and I've worked hard on getting those. And of course, there's a reason why I have them. I consider myself a bit more like a battle farmer, maybe, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying to focus on growth and development, but I'm not trying to kill and kick people out of the game by just, fragging them all the time. So first of all, with regards to some basics, it's a play a lot, pay a lot game to win, right? So the more you play, the more you can achieve, the faster you can achieve it to a certain degree. And it's the same with regards to payment. With regards to not paying anything, there are limitations which are hard. With regards to paying, there are soft limitations, as in things get more expensive, but you get less value for it, but you can still keep spending money. So hypothetically, the growth with Mundi is exponential, but also the costs are exponential. So I'm doing a bit of both. I'm not paying a crazy lot, but I pay quite something, at least recently, which has led me to the growth that I have achieved. First of all, buildings, right? I've got Elite 5 now, and I've got most of my buildings on, it's just the habit, you all know it, of like clicking the things when they appear, because that's what we do, right? I have most of them on 30 now. From level 30 plus, they start costing blueprints, which gets really important and really expensive. And the blueprints are actually my main bottleneck on the game. So if we check here, this, for example, the weaponry costs 20 blueprints. That's still pretty okay, but that's just for Elite 1. And then I think you need 40 for Elite 2 and 80 or 60 for Elite, and so on and so on. And you can only get about a 30 maximum, at least at this stage for me of the game, of Elite blueprints per day. So, those become a real problem. So soon I will have everything on 30. So I wonder if, what's going to happen, if there are more things for me to get blueprints, or if that's just going to be how it is. And you can then either purchase them, right? There is this daily pack here where you can buy 75 blueprints a day or something for €5 or £5 or whatever the equivalent is. I'll talk a little bit, here it is, the Elite Blueprint Pack. I'll talk a little bit about that at some point later, because there are other ways as well. Or you can buy them through certain types of daily specials, sometimes these instantaneous aid things, which give you better rewards for money if you choose to spend money. With regards to actual building, I've only got one counterfeiter. Reason is that, well, you need them because sometimes that's a dependency for other buildings to continue building. But really, I'm running at a high deficit, like a crazy high deficit, right? I lose about 1.5 million cash per hour because I've got so many troops and basically no, oops, this shouldn't be here, right? And I've got basically no production. That's a challenge if you don't have farms or if you don't have other means to get cash. But there's a benefit to this. It only eats into safe cash, unsafe cash, which means, I've got no cash here at my disposal. I've got zero. If and when I farm, so I do have farms, or if you attack players, you get cash. That cash is unsafe and can be taken from you again. Your deficit of cash will run into that, but it will stop as soon as you're at zero, which means other cash that you get from events or from purchases or from wherever is safe. Your deficit on the troops will not eat into that, which means that if and when I want to build or research something which is really expensive on cash, I do get my farms to gather cash, then I quickly farm them, and then I build the thing or research the thing that I want to do, because otherwise I'll be losing my cash pretty quickly. Other than that, I've got, I think, 10 on cargo, and then like 6 on, so 2, 4, 6, 7 on arms, and 5 on metal. I have continued building them, even though I get a large bulk of my resources also from the farms. But really, resources is always going to be a bottleneck, even though at some point I believed it wasn't. Elite buildings give you special benefits, right? But they only give you benefits once. I've tried this because I thought, ooh, I saw that the club gives you like an extra, what is it here, 0.5% or so of crew defense. Yeah, it does, but only the first one. So if you build 5 clubs to elite 5, you don't get 12.5%. You get 2.5. So it's still nice to have it, but it's not as significant as I initially thought. What could be achieved through that. Okay. Obviously, make sure you always have your buffs on double production, and make sure you have the skills and your equipment right. Now, this is one of the key essential things. I knew how to have free skill set switch, which I think you get from SVIP 5 or 6, I don't remember anymore. And on these individual skill sets, first of all, I can switch for free, right? And on the individual skill sets, I have a certain maximum optimal path for how I want to play at the moment. For example, on growth, right? If we go into the growth tree, you see here, production of cargo and more production of cargo and whatnot and whatnot. I might change this at a later stage here to arms or something. I had initially made a mistake and not continuing the path further down and exploring like multiple branches of the tree. That's actually, it's okay for production, but it's stupid for gathering, because if and when you get further down, you actually get here a very interesting gathering skill, which increases gathering speed of all of your resources, which means it's actually better than doing the individual ones because it applies to all of them. And then, I do have investment costs reduced because speed ups aren't really my problem at the moment. It's really resources. So I'm trying to save resources through these types of researches. On skill set 3, support, I go on hospital capacity and troop training speed. Further down, I'm fairly fair developed. I'm happy about this one here because this one really boosts my troop recruitment, which means every time I recruit, and this is the bit that you always, no, you don't always, but if you want to play highly efficient, which I'm trying to do, you need to always have the right thing for the right action, which means you need the right skills activated and you need the right gear, which means car and whatnot, in order to get maximum efficiency. One thing, for example, is shakedown, right? This guy here that gives you an extra 5 hours worth of current production. Current production is always affected by, which skill set you have active and whether you have the buffs on or not, and what type of equipment you wear. So you can see your production here. Let's say this is my current hourly production of 1 million cargo, which means if I hit now, I'll get 5 million. If I change my equipment or if I change my skill set, right, and I activate my battle skill set and I'll go back, you see, oh, it's only 900,000. Okay, right, it's still a lot, but it's getting worse if I put different equipment on, because this here is my equipment for resource production. I'll go into more detail on that in a bit. If I put on my battle equipment, these equipment sets are really handy. You should use them. They save you a lot of tedious clicking back and forth of trying to get the right set. I still do it because I've got too many combinations and not enough of these equipment sets, but in generally they're very, very helpful. So if I put this on battle, which means it changes all my equipment to what I've configured and my car and whatnot, and then I go back, all of a sudden, shit, I'm down to 400,000. So if this goes times 5, it's just 2 million, which is obviously significant. So every time you perform a certain action, you need to have the right equipment and the right skill set activated. And obviously it's the same here, right? If we look into my stats, they've developed quite nicely here with, buffs are active at the moment. So this is 370%, it's great. If I attack now, I'm going to chew through quite something. If I put on my resource production gear, it always takes a second. And if I change this to growth, then it goes down to 250. Still good, but it's significantly less, right? So obviously that's why it's essential to have the right things activate and also develop them into the right direction to make sure that you have the best possible combinations. For growth, I decided to build the Kingpin set, which is actually fairly cheap, as in you get good buffs and you can level them up in a specific way, which I'll explain to you in a second. So you don't need a lot of blueprints. You need one blueprint per piece. You effectively need one weapon blueprint, one shoe blueprint and whatnot in order to get it. And then you can synthesize it with normal equipment, which is nice. Doesn't work on vigilante equipment, does work on leader equipment. So, this gives you the rifle and the pistol give you building speed and investment speed. So I use them as parts of my respective set for those actions, building and investment. More important are the other ones because they give you cash production, not so relevant for me because my cash just always disappears, but they give you training speed, cargo production, arms production, and metal. And I put the emblems on, which I find helpful, of certain levels. So this one has extra emblems here, which increases arms production and metal production and cargo production and whatnot. So that when I have this on, which is most of the time, I get the maximum out of my production and also my shakedown. Then I have the Godfather ring, the golden one, which you can see has, I've managed to get to really good random attributes here. It's almost at the maximum. I think 80% and 40% is maximum. I've got it there. I've not had, a day where this was better. You should, whenever you try to develop your Godfather equipment, once a day you can do 2 free alterations here, right? I haven't really figured out how this locking, not locking works. It hasn't worked for me, but you can click this 2 times a day and on any attribute, on any equipment that you can achieve, that you can buy temporarily or unlock. Then you just do that for weeks or days or however lucky you are until you've got your right one, and then you keep that. If you switch or reset your Godfather collection, you're not going to lose the stats that you had on the equipment. It's a very important part of how I play because I constantly switch the Godfather equipment. Because this one, gives cargo production, also gives gathering speed, resource production. It's pretty heavy, so it's pretty helpful. And I augment the shit out of things, and I switch this most of the time because this is augmentation level 18, and Godfather equipment you can augment and revert for free. You don't need these augmentation cancelers, so I can just at any time go and revert this, and you can see here what impact that will have. For example, on cargo production, 72% less if it's not augmented. Crew load, I use this for farming because it's an extra load for my crew to carry from my farms and whatnot. And also gathering speed is really important. So essential. And if it's the same if I switch to different equipment, like if I switch to battle equipment, and I have initially the unaugmented Godfather code, which is currently as far as I can get, you've got 8% crew defense and crew attack, okay. And if you click augment, oh, okay, I don't have enough augmentation cards because they're currently stuck on the Godfather ring. So, yes, I do this a lot. It's a bit embarrassing, but it's true. So I'll go back to here, when I want to fight, I go to here, to augment, I go to revert, I go to confirm. Then it cancels it. I got all my thingies back. Then I go back to battle, activate the code, augment, and then I click, 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 click. There's no speed up for this. I click all the way up until I've got them all used up. Now I've got it on level 13. If you remember, it was 8% earlier, and now it's an extra 5% on attack and defense. So again, if you want to maximize the shit out of everything, an extra 5% is an extra 5%. And putting this back on, if you remember earlier, I had like some 370 or whatnot, and yeah, here we go, 376. So nice. On the equipment itself, of course, I also have, first of all, I use the normal equipment. I don't have a terrorizer set or one of these. I don't spend money on sets. They're crazy expensive. So I've leveled this up and synthesized it up with normal equipment. They're actually quite good. This has currently about 12% plus some extra that you get through development, and then emblems and whatnot. That's handy. It will come further up when I do it, eventually get it to gold, which will be a while. Also because I'm developing additional equipment for certain actions. But this is, they're the ones that give the maximum attack. And because I have the bulkers as my favorites, because that's the area that I'm developing in the family tree, because I'm in the family that gives you the bulker, I do, focus on bulker and biker and whatnot in order to maximize my stats. If you're on a different family, it might be different for you, but this is how it's for me. And I'll explain in a bit why I have all these shitty pieces of equipment here flying around, because they're for synthesization, right? Yeah, on the cars, it's the same thing. First of all, you can change and activate them. These are my favorite ones at the moment, depending on what I have with regards to Roadstar points, with one click, based on your total Roadstar points at some point. I don't know when I got this. I don't remember. It's because you can see here, right, there's certain equipment missing, but I can just go here and activate. So it automatically sells other parts that I'm currently using in order to be able to buy this one. And then if I go back to here now, you can see White Stallion doesn't have, and it's the same thing. I click activate and then I get it. And obviously based on certain types of actions that I perform, I activate a different car. The tidal wave, still it's an old car, but it's the best for resource production. So I use it for shakedown, or whenever I don't do anything, I just let the game chuck along, then I do resource production. Then there's Knight, which has an extra load on attacking turf, so I activate this for farming. Queen I activate for training because it's got currently the best T9, T10 and general training accelerations. Also when I do gathering, so when I start a gathering, I'll use this. Then I switch it back to tidal wave, which is tedious, but it is what it is. Diamond Daisy I would use if I intend to be attacked on my turf, because it has an increase on defending turf. I don't know if this defending turf also applies if you defend other people's turfs, as in if you reinforce them, because you don't get to see your stats, or I haven't found them. When that turf gets attacked in the reports, you always see the main person's stats, but not your own ones. So I don't really know. And then my current attack car is the White Stallion, because it's got higher attack and then some extra buffs on individuals. And you could see what you're missing on the next one. The blue star would be the next one, right? So I need another 2 gold and 47 silver to get that one out of. And if I sell all parts, and if I buy the parts for this car, which the activate button does automatically. And once you have it, you can add it to your favorites, and you can put them in your equipment sets in order to make that switching a little bit more efficient. I will be developing a terrorizer code and a terrorizer pand, just simply because they are actually having attack and defense skills, which pretty much none of the basic equipment has otherwise, which we can check here, right? Even the higher ones, and I can see level 43 now, which I believe is the highest. Here on the close, it doesn't have any attack or defense. It's got research and building. That's nice. I will be getting that, right? And on the pans, it does have shooter attack, which is okay, and also the building speed. So I will be making this at some point because I want the building speed acceleration. But the actual set part of the terrorizer set, which you can make for free basically, right? On the suit and on the trousers, it has attack and defense buffs for certain types of, actually all attack. So much better than the general equipment. So I'll be wearing 4 pieces of the general equipment and 2 pieces of the terrorizer suit. The normal equipment doesn't have set bonuses. The special pieces do, like you can see here, like crew attack, resource battles plus 14% in gold. If I wear 2 pieces, so I'll be getting that. I won't be getting the others because I will not be making the whole terrorizer set. It's not good enough for me. So that's going to be my attack combination unless I accidentally stumble across a pot of gold and decide to buy other equipment. Then I do create pieces of equipment for other types of actions. Here, for example, I've got the Kingpin boots. Sorry, it's where is it? The casual boots level 30, because they actually give you double a building speed accelerator. So you will see if and when I switch to build, I have a different set behind it here, where I have these activated because they give me the building speed of whatever it was, 22% here. And these trousers give me 12.5. This one gives me a 16 and so on. And then this is the best building acceleration that I have. And of course, make sure that you switch to the skill set for growth because that also has acceleration for building. We can just test this so you can see the difference, right? If I just go to battle, and let's say I want to upgrade my mansion to elite 5 plus 10%, it's 11 days, which is already heavily discounted from 19 because there is certain stuff, clan buffs and other stuff, and I may or may not have some acceleration here, but that's more by accident, not by, by optimization. So let's go back and try to remember what it was. It's 11 hours, about 12 days. All right, and if I now switch this to build here and to growth here, then it's 9. So I saved 3 days just by using the right equipment, which means it saves me speed ups, which I can use for doing other things. For example, building troops to lose them somewhere. Right? And it's the same for research. So I have another one for research. There is no ring that gives you any research buffs. So I've made a ring, cheap one, where I just put the emblems on that reduce the investment costs. It's the best first of all, I didn't put them anywhere else because I was still leveling this up. This is a weapon, these are shoes that I'm still working on to get them to higher levels to increase the investment speed. This one has 8%, 8.5. This one has 8.5, and obviously, unless they are finished, as in gold, right? These emblem removal tools are pretty expensive. They either cost you 2,000 or 4,000 gold, or you need to get a lot of clan honor, which also is expensive and hard to get, takes a lot of time. So I just put them on this ring because, temporarily the best place to put it, so that I still get this cost reduction. And then I have one for training, right? And when you do training and when you've got the free skill set switch, also augment your training, your Godfather's Diary, because this gives you training speed. So the same thing, revert your other Godfather equipment, maximize this. You usually only need to do this once a day in order to start your training for 24 hours to the next day. Unless you do the, daily crime wave troop recruiting thing, then maybe you do it more often. And you should always combine finishing troop recruitment if you can with the personal event, which gives you extra rewards, optimization. So when this is augmented, then it gives you another X something % of training speed. I'm not going to do it right now. And I've got the Kingpin set complete on this level. So I also get training speed here because I've got the 6 set pieces in the same color. That's important. And it also gives me resource production and investment speed. And through that, I'm trying to get the maximum out of it. It's possible that maybe using the Kingpin set on set 4 with 2 other pieces gives me more investment speed acceleration than other sets combined. I haven't done the math. I'm not doing a spreadsheet, but I'm gradually exploring to try to get the last percentages out of the game where I can. use the right car, right? Because I'm training only T9 and T10s. I don't have higher and I don't need lower. There used to be a time where I used to train T7 bulkers because they're cheap for defense. Still do that sometimes, but I think I have enough, and they're just sitting around reinforcing on cop rate or whatnot, and then change to the support skill. So this is the training combination with the support skill that gives you maximum training acceleration. So again, in order to get the most out of everything. Yeah, I mean, plantation is plantation and whatnot. But with regards to your own research, focus on what you find is the best for you. I used to do, and this is very important on Hitman, you do the discounts first to save you discounts or to save you Hitman coins because they're a bottleneck. I also did the ones for production speed and investment speed and costs and whatnot. And here all the construction speed is maxed out. And only then I started with other services. That's why they're fairly, poorly developed when you look at the percentages. So there's a lot for me to still max out with regards to getting better at fighting. Like I said, I'm a battle farmer, so sustainability also. You want to support your growth with enough resources and saving resources and whatnot. So the more you save, the more you can later invest into battle. So bottleneck Hitman coins. I've really only leveled up my mansion to this high level so I can increase my Hitman coin production and my family gold production because they are the real bottleneck. The level Elite 5s cost quite a lot of blueprints, like 200. So I don't do them straight away because, again, blueprints are quite hard to get. And from that point onwards, blueprints are the bottleneck. Elite 5 plus 10% costs you 420. It's crazy, and then it only goes up. I think you need 22,000 blueprints to get from Elite 5 to Elite 6 if you only upgrade the necessary buildings to go up. So that'll take a while. Slammer, gem maker, the usual stuff. Nothing special on it. Of course, always try to get your daily missions done. I think from a certain mansion level, they start giving you the blueprints. Here, you get 10 through this if you complete it all. There was a time where I didn't get them. I don't know if that was my mansion level or if they've changed the game mechanics, but you want to get them. And you get them from every event. You always take blueprints whenever you can, now knowing that you will be needing them. You can, through this Maidman store in the family, you can get 5 a day, which I've already purchased here, 5 blueprints a day. Once you've maxed out the level, you actually get quite some discounts. You get 25% discount on the blueprints on all the gear. And you got the permanent buffs, which are good for accelerating the building or especially getting family points, because family points are another bottleneck of the game. You can only acquire a certain amount per day, which is currently for me 53,600. And I don't even think you can buy them, but you can buy family reputation. Right, there's a daily maximum for me, which is 258,000 currently, which I haven't maxed out yet, but I will, and I do, bloody hell, I do it every day. This is the tedious bit, and this is taking a lot of time, and you've got to have motivation to do this, and time also. It's a time-consuming effort. But currently, I'm putting the effort into it, and I will need to stop that at some point when I have my farm, so I won't have the time for it. And if you do that, you can grow by about 250,000, 260,000 a day. And then you can do the math, how many days it will take you to get up to the next family level. It's important to get at least 2 friendly ones, so you get access to your extra babe. And then I max out, you just want to go, because if you scroll here and you see, it's going to take years, I don't know, to get here if you don't buy the family reputation. But 57% crew defense extra and 55% bulker attack. And that's just one family, right? If you check the other one, and every family is optimized and you can switch them later, you get this. So 4 families give you 300% crew defense if you've maxed them out. But you'll probably be wearing, diapers by the time you get there, unless again you spend a lot of money. So I do this every day in order to get this up. I've only started this recently, ever since I was able to attack higher level street forces and higher level mercenaries, because they give you more faster, right? If you look at the rules, where was this again? Details, rules and benefits. Yeah, here you can see the rules, right? So level 4 mercenaries, 900 reputation, 240 points. And now there are level 30 street forces, 1100, 300. So, you still got to kill 250 of these somehow at the higher levels in order to get the reputation maxed out. And you get some reputation through the daily stuff and some reputation through attacking the vicious gunmen 10 times. But it's you need to send out a lot of ops and search mercenaries to get this stuff. So it's time consuming, but I said it's a play a lot, pay a lot to win game. So I'm showing you the maximum that you can get without spending tremendous amounts of money, in my opinion. And you just do as much as you think you can or you want to invest for the time perspective. I don't have T11s or T12s, it will take forever. I think actually getting the T12s is easier from a family gold perspective. They cost only here, no, here is the Apex, only costs 300,000, and you need to level these all up to level 10 before. That sounds less from what I've seen here so far on the costs than what you need for the T11, which costs you, from what I've heard, 1 million, but maybe it's the same. I don't know. Maybe it's the same because the pattern even looks the same. Oh no, it's not, because these costs are crazy. They start at 15,000 and the other ones started at 2,000. So I think it's cheaper to get the T12 than it is to the T11, but you need all the blueprints to level up the buildings. So, far, far away in the future. Quickly back to equipment. There's cash. Give me the cash. Obviously, you synthesize your gems or you synthesize your equipment up to higher levels. I use the smaller level gems also because I built this shitty equipment pieces in white, green, and blue and whatnot. Because first of all, you can use it to create better special equipment. So I think I have an example. No, I will be having an example soon because it's currently just in production, which is this Terrorizer suit. Although I don't know which color it will be because I've used up all the topaz that I had because I don't need it. So I was giving it a shot. Yeah, I was actually getting a green one. Nice. So I saved some blueprints here. Could have been a blue one, even a purple one. But anyway, so because I have this, and when you want to synthesize it here, and it won't be showing anything right now. It's always this thing. But if you click synthesize, here it will show you other level 25 equipments in green to turn it to blue. So basically, you needed one blueprint to make a white one. Then, I can show this here. You can go to switch, and I'll go to set, and I'll go to Terrorizer, and you say I want to make the rifle, and then you can pick your lower level gems, and you can pick one blueprint and one topaz, which I've all just spent, and then you can make the white one, and then you make 3 white pieces, normal, or 4, I mean, of 3 or 4. I'm getting old. Give me this. Click synthesize. You make 3 of more whites to 25, and you synthesize it to green. Then you make 3 more 25 to green. You synthesize it to blue, and so on. So that's how you'll eventually get to gold without having to spend a lot of blueprints or gems that you need, the special gems from the mercenaries. And also, I've just recently learned a blueprint dismantle trick, which means if you build up special equipment to higher levels and then you dismantle it, it needs to be unlocked here. If you, no, how can I unlock it? Don't know. Here, this one. It's a bit weird. If I dismantle it, it tells you will get back blueprints